where's your energy source? It's light. Our cells are like an automobile engine. You can feed it gas, you can give it air, but if you don't have a spark plug, your car starts sputtering. So your body needs the sunlight entering through the eyes to create this electrical spark plug to the cells so that they metabolize the foods and the oxygen.
That's fascinating that the light coming from the sun is actually powering the body. I mean, I really never thought of it that way. I know it's powering the earth with an ability to function and to have the proper temperatures, but I never thought of it as powering the body.
Oh,
literally.
Literally. So, I mean, it's very easy for you to visualize if your spark plug's not going, your car malfunctions. If you're not getting your 30 minutes to 2 hours a day of sunlight, your body starts sputtering. And just like your car starts having advanced symptoms of problems, then the body starts signaling you advanced medical problems, literally, by people who live in the northern hemispheres around the world. They get obviously less sun than the people near the equator and in the southern hemispheres. So what we find when the blanket called fall winter hits us is this blanket of darkness and restricts even further our ability to get sunlight. And when this happens, the population starts showing the symptoms of light starvation. And those symptoms are like the ones that I was talking about. You have
depression.
Yeah, you have irritability. You have depression. You have craving carbohydrates. You intellectually, your mind's not functioning very good. Your women's menstrual cycles change. The immune system drops. You catch more bugs. Basically, the body is telling us and shouting at us that says, feed me. Feed me sunlight. And it just shouts at you. And yet we are martyrs. We say, oh, I guess that just happens in winter. And they put up with all these symptoms. They complain about it. But the solution is so simple. If sun isn't there, if you don't understand this mechanism that works in the body, if the sun is not there, then you've got to get an artificial replacement for it. And that's where the full spectrum bulb comes in.
I noticed that you were one of the contributing authors of a book on light in medicine today called Light Years Ahead.
Oh, right. Well, you know why I got into light 25 years ago
Tell us.
As an engineer? And it's because really, at that time, I lived in Seattle. Now, concurrently, where I'm living now is Hawaii. Surprise, surprise. But when I lived in Seattle, you go nuts during the winter. It rains continually. It's overcast. Your body exhibits all those symptoms. So I just started researching it. And researching, first I was attracted to sunlight, and then artificial light, and then full spectrum light. And so I needed to go into light because I lived in Seattle.
Very
and I'd go crazy over the years if I didn't alleviate those symptoms during the winter. So an interesting thing during the winter, a lot of people don't really realize this, during the summer, viruses, bacteria, things that float through the air and people give to each other and you pick up, all of these viruses and bacteria thrive in the summertime. And these same virus and bacteria are more or less dormant during the winter. And during the winter, the cold makes them more dormant. But now, when do people catch most of their flus and colds?
The winter.
Winter. Now, why should they get more colds then when viruses and bacteria are dormant? I'll call them almost on deathbed. Why?
I don't think people think that, though.
I know.
I don't even think people know that or think that. I certainly didn't. I'm not saying that I represent all the people listening, but David, is that a fact that viruses are dormant in the winter?
Oh, yeah. That's a fact. And here's what happens.
That's wild.
Here's what happens. In the summertime, you have a lot of sunlight. People are out of doors in the summer. And so their immune systems grow strong, very, very strong immune systems. And immune systems are literally cells in your blood, white cells, B and T cells. They are strong. There are many of them. And so bacteria and viruses and stuff entering the body are quickly eliminated. But now in the winter, you don't get enough sun. Your immune system starts dropping like a rock. And after a short period of time of no sunlight, your immune system is really compromised. And as a result, half-dead bacteria and virus can enter this. There's no opposition. They take root, and you get your flus, your colds. And so it's basically another ingredient of sunlight keeping a strong immune system.
That's really fascinating. I never knew that.
So we keep coming back to, wow, the sun. We take it for granted. And once in a while we scratch our heads and mope during the winter when we don't get it, but we don't really carry that further and find out why we're feeling this way and why we're doing these things. And so sunlight, again, then, I guess one last comment on sun before I move into artificial light a little bit, is on sunlight, these 1,500 waves of light. Okay, so there's a big range of these. So what's the significance? Well, from a natural standpoint, each wavelength acts differently in the body. If you want an analogy, you could equate each wavelength to, say, a mineral, a vitamin, and so vitamin B1, 2, 3, 4, 12, niacin, iron, etc. The individual waves of light coming from sun going through the hypothalamus are literally converted into 1,500 types of minerals and vitamins equivalent, okay? And therefore, your body gets the full range of this. We, of course, again, when we don't get sunlight entering in the body, we compensate by artificially, as a human species, artificially producing a stopgap. So we make supplements. We make vitamins and minerals, and you start swigging these down. Why? Why did you have to do that? Because simply you weren't getting the natural equivalent of those. It wasn't going in the body. It wasn't metabolizing that stuff. So, again, we make vitamin, including your vitamin D3 is just a newer version of it, but we try to compensate. So, the value of the sun, just to appreciate the totalness of what it does to our bodies. And we should have learned as soon as we cut the lights out and shut down for winter, our body changes. We should be asking ourselves why, and we should be looking for it, and we should be looking for compensation for that.
Now, you sell light boxes, desks and floor lamps, and screw-in bulbs.
Yeah, you can, in today's world, you can virtually put full-spectrum light in a number of sources. The only thing you can't replace is, say, a halogen light. But you can take any incandescent light, get rid of it, put in a full spectrum. You can go to light boxes if you want to get brighter. Your depression is lower. You want more brightness. You want more effects.